During the second and final debate with President Trump, Joe Biden denied that he ever wanted to ban fracking. Can we take a step back first? What exactly is fracking?
If you want to get around, if you want to drive a car, you want to get on a plane, you need oil. It has been the foundation of the 20th century economy.
Once considered impossible, American energy independence has become a reality. And for better or for worse, it's all thanks to fracking.
Okay, but what again exactly is the process of fracking? What is it?
So you might want to know what's in the fracking fluid. Water and sand, primary ingredients. It only works if that sand and water are all mixed up together. You can't let the sand settle out. So you need some emulsifier. You need something that keeps it all in solution. A typical one is some kind of agar gum, the kind of stuff they put in to thicken toothpaste. You also are going to need to add salt, because you don't want a lot of these other chemicals that you've added to there to break down very easily. You want it to exist in this pressurized system and have it stay mixed. You can't let it freeze. You need it to flow smoothly. So the list of chemicals, which we've illustrated here, are added to fracking water. Maybe 0.5% of the fluid are these things. It takes about 3 million gallons of water, of this fluid, to frack a well over its lifetime. 3 million gallons. Whenever we use a word like million, people say, oh my gosh, that's so much. I think we're thinking about dollars. 3 million gallons is about the size of 4 Olympic swimming pools. Yeah, that's a lot of water. But we need to compare that amount of water to other water usages. What we've done is we've basically taken this big pipe for 7 miles and filled it up, and then we empty it out. So if I compare that amount of water, we should really compare it to other human usage, not industrial usage, but just for humans. In America, the average water use is about 100 gallons per day per person. I remember hearing that long ago and thinking, what? That's crazy. I don't drink 100 gallons a day. No, you don't have to drink the water. Think about the water that's on in the shower. Think about the water that's on to have cleaned the clothes you wore that day. What about the water that's flushed away in the toilets or in the sink? Add all that up, 100 gallons. So the 3 million gallons for doing the well, that would be 30,000 people for one day's use.
Now, I never thought water was the biggest concern about fracking. What about the concerns about the environment?
Some people say, my water's on fire. That when water comes out of the tap, it's got methane in it and I can light a match to it and the water catches on fire itself. Don't drink that water. In fact, don't use that water in your house. In these cases, it has nothing to do with fracking. Some places, there are methane deposits near the water table. And when you pull your water out, it has methane in it. Just today in class, one of the students said, yeah, our water is always on fire. There's no fracking well anywhere near her house or anywhere near, probably in the whole county. People have methane in their water without anything to do with fracking. Here's a map of where the fracking fields are in the United States, where these shale formations are. And the darker the color on the map, the more gas is contained here. And you can see that the state of Pennsylvania and the state of Texas are covered in possible shale formations. Indeed, those are the two states in the United States that lead the shale production of gas and oil. North Dakota also has quite a large area, and much of the area up there, the fracking that's done there, produces oil, not gas. Here is a graph of gross withdrawal of shale gas by state. And you can see that Texas and Pennsylvania dominate over the rest of the United States altogether. These are the places the gas is found. and at this point has been developed. So how much gas is that? Before this fracking boom, it was estimated there were 245 quads of recoverable natural gas in the United States. It's only about 10 years' supply. With fracking, this number has gone up tremendously. Proven reserves now may be in the 355 quads, but estimated reserves 420 to 1,000 quads. Since we're using about 25 quads a year, that could be a next 40-year supply of relatively inexpensive natural gas.
Some say that fracking may be inducing earthquakes. Others say it may be doing just the opposite.
Remember that giant explosion underground to make all those holes in the pipe and fracture the rock that you could hear on the seismograph? It's been shown that in areas that have had a lot of fracking, there are more earth tremors that occur. Not while someone's blowing it up, but in between periods. You can measure these micro earthquakes. At first, this sounds terribly scary. Oh my God, you're making the earth unstable. You're going to have earthquakes all over. Everything's going to tumble and fall. Well, let's think for a moment. A devastating earthquake is one of a very high magnitude. Earthquakes occur because you have movement of tectonic plates. You have two land masses trying to move past one another, and they get stuck on each other. They get stuck, they won't move. Pressure builds up, pressure builds up. They're trying to move, they're trying to move, they're trying to move. And then finally, there's a huge shift, and there goes San Francisco. How would you prevent that? How could you imagine a way such that the big one doesn't occur? Well, maybe instead of waiting for that one fault line to develop so much pressure, you could just relieve it a little bit. Let it have a little micro earthquake. Let it move just a little bit, and just another little bit. Not enough that you can even feel, let alone shake a building. Measurements can measure it. Micro earthquakes. So it could well be that enough of these micro earthquakes are a good thing because they prevent some huge earthquakes, some huge slippage of fault lines from occurring sometime in the future.
This gets us back to Biden. As mentioned, Biden in that second debate denied that he ever wanted to ban fracking.
We're going to have the greatest economy in the world, but if you want to kill the economy, get rid of your oil industry. You want, and what about fracking?
All right,
now,
let me allow Vice President Biden to respond.
I never said I oppose fracking.
You said it on tape.
I did. Show the tape. Put it on your website.
I'll put it on.
Put it on the website. The fact of the matter is he's flat lying.
Would you rule out banning fracking?
I do rule out banning fracking because the answer, we need other industries to transition to get to ultimately a complete zero emissions by 2025. What I will do with fracking over time is make sure that we can capture the emissions from the fracking, capture the emissions from gas. We can do that, and we can do that by investing money in doing it. But it's a transition.
And during the VP debate, Kamala Harris was equally adamant. We're not going to ban fracking, she said.
Joe Biden will not ban fracking. That is a fact.
Biden challenged Trump. Hey, he said, put it on tape if I ever wanted to ban fracking. Trump said, okay.
But Biden also challenged me to find the tape of him desperately repeating and pledging to ban fracking and fossil fuels. So what happened? He said, I never said that. I never said it. Never. And I said, no, you did say it, right? Everybody heard him say it. We all during the primary then. So, Joe, I'm going to grant your request because he said, I did not say that. I didn't. He said it many times, by the way. I don't want to bore you with playing too many of the times. But he said, no. Then he gets in. He goes to Pennsylvania, and he learns. Somebody explains that that's a big fracking state. It's a big, very big energy state. 1 million people. And he said, oh, yes, we will allow fracking. This is a man with great heart. We will allow fracking. And then he said he never said what he said for the last year and a half. So let's take a look and see whether or not he said it. and what he did once he got to Pennsylvania. Go ahead, put it up. Where is it?
Would there be any place for fossil fuels,
Wow, look
including
at that.
coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated and no more subsidies for either one of those. I guarantee we're going to end fossil fuel. No more, no new fracking.
I'd gradually move away from fracking.
And I think it's critically important on day one that we end any fossil fuel leases on public lands.
Well, like, what about, say, stopping fracking and stopping pipeline infrastructure and
They want to do the same thing I want to do. They want to phase out fossil fuels, and we're going to phase out fossil fuels.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
Pennsylvania voters, not pleased.
One topic of conversation that really struck a chord here in Western Pennsylvania is the topic of fracking and the Green New Deal. Just a few miles up the road here, there is a massive Shell cracker plant that has brought thousands of jobs to this area. And this is an issue that really hits home here. I want you to listen to how that part of the debate played with voters I spoke to. Take a listen.
I am a big supporter of drilling for natural gas here. I was really disappointed with Kamala Harris saying that she supported fracking after I have seen that she said that she would ban it, and so has Joe Biden.
He's going to be pushed hard from the far left on his side to end fracking.
So, Craig, the Biden campaign has some work to do if they want to convince voters in this area that a Biden presidency would not negatively impact jobs here.
Meanwhile, AOC, one quarter of the squad, not pleased either. Here's what she tweeted. Fracking is bad, actually. Now, during the primary season, pundits were warning Democrats banning fracking, bad idea, not politically useful.
I think it's just because he is so radical, you know, and it's not just Medicare for all and abolishing student debt. He's talking about, and so is Elizabeth Warren, talking about shutting down fracking. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you know how many? I mean, like, I was looking it up today, driving down here. There's over 1 million people employed in fracking. I mean, if that gets out, and I'm sure that Trump will get it out, right. That could turn Ohio, Michigan. Into West Virginia's, which right. just like flipped from Democrat to Republican overnight when Obama and Hillary started talking about shutting down the coal industry. Sure.
Bottom line, Harris, Biden, they were against fracking before they were in favor of it.
I am not banning fracking. Let me say that again. I am not banning fracking, no matter how many times Donald Trump lies about me.
Like, what about, say, stopping fracking and stopping pipeline?
I am not banning fracking, no matter how many times Donald Trump lies about me.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
I am not banning fracking, no matter how many times Donald Trump lies about me. No more, no new fracking, no matter how many times Donald Trump lies about me.
We are going to get rid of fossil fuels.
No matter how many times Donald Trump lies about me.
Would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated.
I'm Larry Elder, and we've got a country to save. I'll see you next time.